Fab. Okay. Yeah, so have your band close by, and then we'll come down and lie on the back. So we'll start lying all the way down. Rest your feet to the floor. Lengthen the back of the neck, head down into the ground. Just place the hands on the belly to start with. Close the eyes. And just take a few deep breaths. Let the elbows, the backs of the arms sink down into the ground. Backs of the shoulders. We'll just take a few moments here in case there's a couple of people coming in. Soften around the eyes, soften through the jaw. And just let the body breathe. Notice the body's response to the breath. So the expansion, that space you create, and then the engagement, the support as you exhale and draw the navel into the spine. So just taking your time. Kind of trying to feel heavy through the back of the body. So there's this weight anchored into the mat beneath you. And as the back body sinks down, there's more space across the chest. You maybe feel the collarbones widen, the chest open as the shoulders sink back and down. A weight through the hips. And try and find this weight through the abdominals as well. So let the abdominal muscles almost drop towards the lower back. So without too much force or engagement, but just this weight and this constant drawing down and in as we lie here on our back. Let the breath get a little bit deeper, in and out through the nose. Deepen that breath and let it warm the body up from the inside out. And then just drop the arms down by the side, hands to the floor, so palms face down. Just start with a few pelvic tilts. So you're just going to let the tailbone lift, feel the abdominals draw down and in, and then release. So it's just a small movement of the tailbone to start with. I think we did this at the start of class yesterday, just tilting the tailbone up and rolling the tailbone down. So just the tailbone, shouldn't be a huge movement at all. Tailbone lifts and lengthens. So you can hardly even see the movement probably on me from where you are. It's just a slight tilt up, waist draws in, lower back pushes to the floor, and then roll it down. You can even pause at the top when you tilt the tailbone, you feel the waist pull in, feel that connection down into the ground, and then let it go. 3 more tilts. And let it go. Tilt. And let it go. On this next one, you can roll that all the way up into your first glute bridge. So just take the hips off the floor, the lower back, middle back, coming towards the tips of the shoulders. Lift the chest up towards the sky. Drive the feet down, squeeze the glutes on, grip the mat with all 10 toes, and then spread the toes out nice and wide. Push the arms down, feel the chest lift a little. Lift the hips higher in the center of the body. So squeeze through the glutes. Find that pulling down and in of the abdominals. So not just flinging the waist up, but trying to pull down as you lift the hips up. Hold it here for 5. Stay steady with the breath. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly roll the spine down. Take your time. Rolling and massaging the spine to the floor. And then just let the hips go. Reach for your band. Should have had mine slightly closer. You're going to slide it over your feet, past the knees, and it's going to come just above the knees if you have one. If you don't have one, don't worry. You're going to do exactly the same exercises, just without the resistance. So you're fine to go there without. So if you have the band, it sits just above the knees, not on the knees. And you're going to take your feet about hip width. I'm pulling my knees out a little so I can feel that resistance on the band. There's tension on the band. Tuck the tailbone. Curl the spine off the floor. So if you don't have a band, same thing. You're just rolling up, just not quite as much tension through the legs. If you have a band, you're pushing out slightly as you roll all the way up. Not so much the knees completely stick out to the side of the room, but just enough that you keep tension on the band. Squeeze the glutes at the top, and then control the movement of the spine down towards the ground. Not so bothered about the height of the hips, more about that control through the lower back. So can you segmentally roll the spine down and roll the spine up? Let the tailbone relax at the bottom. Take a breath to reset. And then next time you exhale, scoop the tailbone under, pull the waist in, roll up one spinal segment at a time. So not rushing, not jolting, a smooth movement, rolling up through the spine. Lifting the hips up, drive the feet down. You can always encourage the knees a little bit out, wider out if you want more resistance, and then roll the spine back down. With control, waist pulls in. Don't lose that connection in through the waist. Don't hold your breath as you pull in. And then we have one more before we change the exercise. So tilt the tailbone under, roll the spine off the floor. Really take your time, pushing down through the hands, rooting back through the shoulders. Lifting the hips up, maybe a little slight push out of the knees if you have a band. If not, concentrate on driving the feet down and lifting the hips, and then roll the spine down, pull the waist in. And then rest. Hips to the floor. Take the hands to the back of the head. Lift the head, neck, shoulders off the floor, but you're not lifting using the neck, you're lifting using the abdominals. So lift up, and then you can actually relax the weight of the head a little. Bring the feet off the floor so the shins are parallel to the ground. With or without the band, left knee stays still, right toes tap down to the floor and come back up. Right toes tap and come back up. 3 more on that right side. Keep the rest of the body still. So the only thing moving is that right foot, right knee, right hip. 3, 2, and again with or without the band. 1. Bring it back, other side. 5. Keep pushing the lower back to the floor. Keep the elbows nice and wide. Keep the chest lifted. Head and neck relaxed. 2, 1. Place both feet down. Take the arms down by the side. Roll the hips off the floor again. So slowly take the hips up. If you have a band on, your feet are going to stay exactly where they are. If you don't have a band, bring your feet so they touch. So without a band, the feet touch, and you're going to open the knees and close the knees. Open and close, staying at that height. If you have a band, feet can stay hip width. Open the knees and bring them back to neutral. Open the knees out and bring it back. So it's a tiny movement, and as we do it, the hips stay where they are. So the height of the hips doesn't change, it stays up. Or feet are together, you're opening the knees and close. Open and close. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everyone have the feet so they're hip width. Keep the hips nice and high. Tuck the tailbone under. So you want to try and scoop the tailbone under and pull the waist in. So it might mean you drop a little in height, but there's more strength around the lower back and the pelvis. From here, roll the spine down to the floor. And then let the hips rest to the ground. Take an inhale to reset. And an exhale to roll back up. So tailbone tucks under. Spine pushes into the floor as it peels up. So there's 2 opposing forces. One, you're trying to almost push the back down. And the second, you're trying to peel the spine up. Everyone bring the feet together this time. Hips stay where they are with or without the band. Knees open. Hold it there, feel the glutes squeeze, and knees close. Knees open, try and lift the hips an inch higher. Knees close. Knees open, 1 inch higher. Knees close. 4, lift the hips. 3, lift the hips. 2, and close. Last one, and close. Now change the feet so they're back to hip width apart. Tuck the tailbone under, pull the waist in. So really find that scoop under through the tailbone, pull in through the abdominals. Try and lift the hips higher with that tilt of the tailbone. So it should be quite strong now through the back of the legs and the hips. And then you're going to roll it down really slow. So take your time and rest the hips to the floor. Take the hands to the back of the head. Lift the head, neck, shoulders off the floor. So again, using the abdominals. So get to that lift and then just give yourself permission to relax the head. Bring the knees into tabletop. You can keep the band, straighten the right leg. Lower the right leg halfway to the floor. Lift it back up. Lower, just the right side. Lift. Keep the lower back pushing into the ground. 3, 2, keep breathing. And 1. Bring it back. Switch, so bend the right leg. Bend the right leg, straighten the left leg, lower the left leg, and lift. Navel to spine. Lower, and lift. 3, lift. 2, and last one. Bring it in. Place the feet to the floor, arms down by the side. Last exercise here. So roll the hips up off the ground. Hold them nice and high, again, with or without the band. And then you're going to rise onto the toes, so there's more height. You're on the balls of the feet, lifting the hips up, and now more space to roll down. So control that roll down. Stay on the balls of the feet. Keep the heels lifted. Pull the navel in as you control that movement through the lower back. So it's strong through the lowest abdominals. And then once the hips rest to the floor, the heels come straight down and you drive the hips back up. So we're doing that 4 times. So you drive up, rise to the balls of the feet, roll the spine down. Slowly moving through the spine, pulling in through the abdominals, through the waist. Hips find the floor, heels come down, hips drive straight back up to the toes. Roll it down. You have 2 more after this one. So you can move at your own pace. If it's a little bit faster or a little bit slower than me, rest your hips, rest your heels, drive your hips back up to the toes, roll it down. This is your second to last one. Make it controlled, make it strong. And then rest the hips, rest your feet, drive back up. Last one, toes, and we'll roll down for 10, 9, pull the waist in, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest the heels, take the hands to the back of the head, lift the head, neck, shoulders off the floor, bring the feet in. So it's going to be a little harder if you have a band, but try and go with it. Heels together, toes out. So I have a V shape between my feet. Knees are out to the side. Pull the knees to the elbows. Tailbone will lift a little. And then straighten and extend the legs away from you. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Don't have to go low. Bend the knees. Keep the heels squeezing together. Bring the knees to the elbows. And then straighten the legs away. Bend the knees. Pull the knees into the elbows. Keep the heels connected. Straighten the legs away. And the lower you go, the more work, but also the more stress on the lower back. So you can stay quite high with the legs. 4. Bring the knees in. 3. 2. And last one. Bring the knees in. Slide the band off the knees. Take it out to the side. Cross the shins in. Rock up to a seated position. And then just make sure you've got space in front of you. Come forwards. Take your hands down and step your knees back. Just open and close the spine a couple of times. So look forward, stretch through the front of the body, and then arch and round through the spine. Stretch forwards, find space through the chest, and then arch and round. Go for 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then neutralize the spine. So find somewhere comfortable between those two extremes. Tuck the toes under, keep the waist pulling in, and just lift your knees off the floor. So just a tiny lift off the ground. Just going to hold our weight here. And then I want you to shift the weight forward. So bring the shoulders a little bit forwards. And we're going to draw a circle. So take the body over to the left side, go slightly to the back of the mat, and draw a circle over to the right side. So a circle over to the left, scoop around to the back of the mat, and come over to the right. So it's strong through the hands and the shoulders. This is our last one in that direction. And then change and go the other way. So the circle can be as small as you like. Good for stability around the hips and the shoulders. 2 more. Okay, and then just stretch back into downward facing dog. Stretch the heels away. Walk on the spot. And just find some length through the backs of the legs. Walk the feet into the hands. Bring it all the way forwards. Relax the body into a forward fold. So just drop the weight of the head, the weight of the shoulders. If you have a ball, whilst you're in that forward fold, just reach for it. If you don't have a ball, bring the feet together and squeeze the feet together. So squeeze the inner ankles together. If you have a ball, it's going to go between the ankles and you're going to try and push into that ball. So with or without works fine. Relax the upper body. Pull the navel into spine. Tuck the tailbone under. Knees can be a little bit soft. Start to curl up through the back. So trying to round up as we come through the spine. Using the strength of the waist to pull yourself up. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky, lift tall. And then exhale, take the arms down by the side. Bring the chin into the chest and curl back down again. And as you round, I'm going to shift so you can see this way. I really want you to think about pulling in through the waist, curling down. So not like yoga where we kind of hinge with a flat back. I want you to find that rounded shape. Relax at the bottom, squeeze the ball or squeeze the inner ankles, pull the waist in, roll back up. So taking your time, slowly roll up. If you don't have a ball yet, next time you could probably just shove like a rolled towel or something between your ankles because it makes quite a difference. And go back down, chin into the chest, waist pulls in, slowly rolling forwards. So as slow as we rolled up and down through the spine when we were on our back, same kind of thing.
taking your time. We're going to go up once more and down once more, and we'll finish in a forward fold. So push into the feet, pull the waist in, squeeze between the ankles. As you squeeze between the ankles, find that all the way up through the inner thighs. It is a little bit easier if you have a ball, but hopefully you can still find that squeeze all the way up if you don't. Stack the spine nice and tall. And then chin into the chest. We're rolling back down. Pull the navel in. Take your time. Let the body come forwards. Knees are soft, so you don't have to force the legs straight. And rolling all the way down. And then relax there. Take the ball out from the ankles if you have it. Come and have a seat. If you don't have a ball, I'll start with you guys first. You're just going to hold on to the front of the knees, and you're just going to inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, curl into the lower back and really pull the waist in. If you have a ball, it's going to sit just behind your lower back. I think most people do. Inhale, lift. Exhale, try your best to push into that ball. So round the spine, push as much as you can into the ball. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round and push as much as you can into that ball. Curl, bring the chin into the chest, stretch the back of the shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, from this exhale, stay there, reach the arms out. So now I'm not holding onto the shins. Inhale, lift the chest up, reach the arms to the sky. And then exhale, push back into that ball. Pull the waist in. It's a little bit harder without it, but I think most of us have got one. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, round into that ball. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. Stay here. So you're pushing into that ball. So if you don't have a ball, you're just holding it in this C shape. Extend the right leg. So knee can be a little bit bent. I'll take my hands away so you can see. You're just going to lower down, not quite to the floor, and lift back up. Lower down, not quite to the floor, and lift back up. If you've got the ball, you're just pushing into that ball. So you should feel this strength pulling around, like you've got a corset on, and I want you to tighten the corset. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the right knee, plant the right foot down, switch to the other side, pull the waist in, lower down, and lift. Lower down, and lift. You don't even have to go all the way. It might just be a couple of inches of movement. Whatever you can control while still really pulling in around the center of the body. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant both feet down. Just slide the ball a little further back. So now it's more between the shoulder blades. If you don't have one, I'll give you a variation in a moment. So hips are to the floor, so feel safe. I'm not wobbling around too much. Hands to the back of the head, elbows out wide, and they stay out wide. Inhale, take the body back, open the chest. Exhale, pull all the way up using the abdominals and gaze into the belly. Should be shaking a little bit when you get there. Inhale, take it back. And exhale, come all the way up, look into the navel. If you don't have a ball, lie down on the ground, elbows out. Inhale, push the elbows to the floor. Exhale, roll the upper body, look into the waist. Inhale back. Exhale up. 8 more. Inhale back. Exhale up. Inhale back. Exhale up. Inhale back. Exhale up. Pull the waist in as you look up. Inhale back. Exhale. I'm really shaking, so I don't know about you. Last two. Make this one your last one. Reach for the thighs, pull yourself up. Just let that ball, go out to the side. And then we're going to move between two positions. So first one, hands come back, fingers face to the toes. If that's too much, just turn the hands out slightly. Push into the feet and lift your hips up to the sky. So pull the waist in as you drive the hips up. So squeeze the back of the hips. You can stay looking towards the knees or towards the pelvis. And then you're going to rest the hips down, lift the feet off the floor and lift the hands off the floor. It doesn't need to be a perfectly straight line through the spine. Just think about pulling the belly button in and then rest the feet, take the hands down, lift the hips up to the sky. So they're the two transitions. And we have 5 rounds. So second one, rest your hips, lift the hands. Now keep going, or if you want more, when you come down next time, you're pushing into a straight line. So it's your choice, straight line or that tabletop. Still the same lift, feet off the floor. So it's just whether you extend the legs really or keep them bent. Last 3. Rest the hips, lift the feet. Might be a little bit wobbly, that's fine. So you're coming up either with bent knees or straight legs. Last 2. And then your last one, legs straight or knees bent, it's up to you. Pull the waist in, lift the hips high. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest the hips, cross the legs, and come over to all fours, bringing your band. From your all fours position, you don't need the band just yet, I just wanted you to have it to hand. Arch through the spine, bring the chin into the chest, and then just draw some big circles round with the body. So let the elbows bend, just wriggle and move around the torso. Have a bit of a stretch out, take some nice big deep breaths. Doesn't have to be uniform, kind of wriggle or move however your body needs to. And then just change direction. And bring the chin all the way into the chest. So don't be afraid of moving into the neck. Okay, then the next bit, we're going to do some like kickback exercises. If you want to, you can band it up. You don't have to, you can do them without a band. Just makes it a little bit harder. So I'm going to slide in here. Not very smoothly. And then we meet on all fours. So it's above the knees again. We're going to be down on hands and knees. Pull the navel in. So find that inward connection. And then rest down towards the forearms. So come down onto the forearms. You're able to relax the back of the head, push into the forearms. Try your best to look down to the floor, not to me, and I'll try my best to explain it. So keep the left knee where it is. Stretch your right leg back so the toes tap the floor. Have a straight right leg, maybe quickly glance, but then return your neck down to that nice neutral position. You're going to lift the right leg straight back and up until the right foot is in line with the right hip. Keep the leg straight and long, and then lower down. Lift the right leg. Hold it a little at the top, and then lower down. So we're trying to build strength in the back of the right hip and the back of the right leg. So take your time, just find your own rhythm, but I want you to find a tiny pause at the top and lower. Go for 8, 7. Just make sure you're breathing. 6, 5,
4, 3, 2. If you've decided to put a band on and you're now regretting the choice, you can always take it off. Last one, hold it at the top and just do small pulses of movement. Keep looking down. Keep the neck nice and neutral for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. So bring the right knee down. Stretch the left leg back. Toes lightly tap the floor. Left leg lifts a little bit higher at the top. Maybe pause and lower down. So that little halfway point at the top, that pause kind of gives you a chance to just check that left hip is working and then lower it down. Lift, check that left hip is engaged and then lower down. Lift and lower. 6, 5. Keep the waist in, so there's quite a lot of work around the center of the body still and around the shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Hold it at the top. Small movements. So tiny little lifts up and down. Keep the navel in. Back of the left hip working. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the left knee in next to the right knee. Take both hands down to the floor. Just tuck the toes under and stretch both hips back to the sky. So just a lengthening out through the backs of the legs. Take a big inhale. And a big exhale. Big breath in. And big breath out. Come back down to the hands and the knees. This time stay on the hands. Pull the waist in. Take the right leg back. So we're going to lift the right leg up, staying on the hands. So same thing, just on our hands, not our elbows. Lower down. Keep navel to spine. So you might feel like you can't lift the leg as high. If you really find that lock in through the lower abdominals, and that's fine. I'd rather you be strong around the lower back than lift that leg too high. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold it at the top. Now your elbows can go out to the side a little. Half a push up down and back up with your right leg lifted. Half a push up down and lift back up. 3. And it might just be a couple of inches you go down. 2. Doesn't have to be all the way. 1. Hold it back up. Small pulses with that right leg. So tiny little movements. Waist in. Shoulders strong. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch. I'm sweating, by the way. I hope your feeling worked. Stretch the left leg back. Pull the waist in. And you're going to lift the left leg. Little hold at the top and lower. This is our last exercise here, this last side. Lift and lower. Just notice if you're pushing more weight through one hand than you are the other. And make sure that's nice and even. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold that left leg, bend the elbows, and push back up. Bend, and push back up. 3, 2,
Might be a tiny movement for now, and then you notice over the weeks you're able to go lower. Pulse that left leg. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees together, toes tuck, lift your hips up to the sky. Stretch the backs of the legs. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Take a breath in. And a breath out. Walk your hands back to the feet. So come to the back of your mat. And then wriggle the feet closer together so you can slide the band down if you had a band. If you didn't have a band, just have a nice stretch in a forward fold. Take that band off, kick it to the back of the room, and then walk your hands back out all the way. Bring yourself forwards, rest the knees, and come and lie down on your front, all the way down. Make a pillow with the hands. Rest the forehead and give your hips a shake from side to side. Now point the right foot to the right corner of the mat and point the left foot to the left corner of the mat. Bend the knees and bring the heels to touch. So your heels squeeze together. And just like with that abdominal exercise, don't let the heels drift apart so they stay connected. Forehead can stay down to the hands. So keep the forehead on the floor or the hands. Lift the thighs and try and kick your feet to the ceiling with the knees bent and with the heels touching. So head heavy, heels lift, squeeze between the heels, lift the thighs off the floor, should feel it in the back of the hips, and then lower down. And now we're going to go 10 a little quicker. So keep the head relaxed to the ground. Lift, lower, lift, lower, squeeze between the heels, lift, lower, lift, lower. 6. The more you can squeeze between the heels, the more work. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Stretch the legs out. Take the hands under the shoulders. Push back all the way into a child's pose. So stretch the hips to the back of the mat. Rest the forehead down. Sway the hips from side to side. And just have a bit of a wriggle around. Find some space. Relax through the shoulders. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Big breath in. Big breath out. Come forwards to all fours, hands and knees. Take the right leg back. So reach that right leg to the back of the room and then stretch the left arm forward. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Take an inhale. Exhale, round elbow and knee together. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, round in. 3 more, reach. And round. Reach. And round. On this last one, I want you to stay reaching. Keep the right leg where it is. Bring the left hand down. Now imagine you've got a paintbrush. You're holding a paintbrush between the toes on the right foot. Paint small circles with that right leg. Tiny circles. Size of a tennis ball, size of an orange. Teeny tiny circles. So just managing stabilization. Building some more stability around that right hip. 4, 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Waist stays in. 4, 3, 2, 1. Other way. So quite a lot of work going on around the left hip as well as the right hip. So stability and through both shoulders. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now that right leg reaches back from here, bend the right knee, bring it towards the right tricep, and then stretch that right leg back. I'll show you on the side that you can see. So knee to tricep, stretch back, knee to tricep, stretch back. So try my best to keep the shoulders still. Stretch back. Keep breathing. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Place the right knee down. Stretch the left leg back and take the right arm forwards. So first of all, find that long line. Breathe in. And then breathe out. As you breathe out, you round and you pull the waist in. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Pull in. 2. And in. Last one, hold this one out. Keep the left leg back. Take the right hand down to the floor. Small circles with that left foot. Tiny circles. Waist in. Shoulders strong. Small tiny circles for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Start to go the other way. And at first you might not feel the circles much, but trust me, they'll be working. You've got 10 more. Sometimes the small little stuff is the more beneficial stuff. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knee to tricep and stretch back. Knee to tricep and full extension. Keep breathing. Stretch back, forwards, and stretch back. 5, kick back. 4, kick back. 3, 2, last one. Knee down. Take the knees out wide. Child's pose. Big breath in. And you can sigh out. 2 more like that. Big breath in. Sigh out. 3rd and final breath in. And out. Push the hands down into the floor. Rise up to hands and knees. Tuck the toes. Stretch the hips up to the sky. Walk your hands to your feet. Knees can be as bent as you need them to be. Hold opposite elbows and sway. So just rock from left to right, right to left. I'm just noticing how the body feels. Let go of any frustration for the bits of the practice that you didn't quite get to, or that you found a bit challenging. Got loads of classes this month to practice and work on things. And the only way you're going to get better and stronger is if there are things that you can't do, and then you work towards them and you build the strength to do them. Relax the arms, push into the feet, bend the knees, curl up through the spine. Your slowest roll up, so no rushing, slowly drawing the waist in, taking your time, super, super slow. And then stand tall. If you have a wall or some kind of surface, use it. I'm just going to demonstrate without. So this is my wall. Just so you have something to hold on to. Lift the right ankle, place it on the left thigh. And then you're just going to sit into that stretch. So figure of 4, and you're just holding on. So you can use the support of the wall, the bed, the counter, whatever it is. Just so you can sit a bit deeper into that stretch, almost try and push your hips back. And then come back, switch. Right foot down, left foot over. I don't know who it is in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, but someone looks like blazingly blue sky is shining in through the window. Victoria, is it sunny where you are, or is it just the light deceiving me? Looks gorgeous. Let that left knee move out. Sit back. And then both feet down. Stand tall, take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, reach the fingers back, open the chest, take 3 big breaths in and out. Breathe in and out. Big inhale and big exhale. Let the hands go. Bring the hands into prayer. Thank yourself for making time to practice this morning.